And this Kim Kreitzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio. We're covering Army football. We have a chance to talk with one of the coaches on the Army staff, and that is Coach Sean Saturnio. He is the special teams coordinator, a native of Hawaii, coach with Coach Monken at Georgia Southern. And Coach, how are you doing today? How is practice out there?
Hello, Ken. I'm doing great. It was a great day of practice. The kids are locked in with what we're doing. Our emphasis is on just being crisp. You want to do it when you got this far out to be able to maybe do some things that you want to work on more, and then refine the plan as the days draw nearer.
Well, we just had a chat with one of your special team players, sophomore Fabrice Voyne, who's had a couple of big plays, recovered the onside kick against Abilene Christian, and then blocked the punt against Georgia Southern. And can't forget that block PAT that Andre Carter had. What a decisive play that game. So many special teams made the difference really Saturday. Tell us a little bit about some of the key plays this year.
Oh gosh, there's been one of the most amazing thing to be part of in that unit is just you get to draw from every position, literally across whether they be protecting for field goals and PATs, or you'll always draw from the offense and defense. So being able to work with such a wide range of kids is amazing, and just their love for playing special teams. I think you can always gauge on how much people are dialed in when you have starters asking if they can get on special teams, and something's going well. But we've had a lot of good plays. The kids have rose up on being attentive to the details that they take from the meeting room to the practice field, working all the individual drills that we do, and then as they break, we always have a saying that the drills will turn into the plays, and you're seeing that happen, and it's just a fantastic thing to be a part of.
Absolutely. Now, you've got some great specialists. Zach Harding, your punter's got a 43-yard average. What a great punter he is. And you got two place kickers this year. Landon Sawyer's a senior, 3 or 4 on field goals, handling a lot of the kickoffs. And then you've been working in Quinn Moretsky, doing the PATs at 4 for 4 on PATs Saturday on a 1-point game. He was vital, that effort. Tell us about your 3 extraordinary kickers that you have and punter.
Yeah, they've been doing a great job of just focusing on the details. Throughout this offseason, one of the things we really worked on was just the mental aspect of the kicking game, and really drawing from a lot of different sources, just being able to get yourself mentally locked in, from being able to breathe and get yourself focused and centered, to pulling things from what Bruce Lee used to do in terms of focus. And you see that just as it transcends from just the mental side, and as they apply it to the physical part of practice and working on their individual skill sets over there. And Kyle O'Connor, our long snapper and short snapper, has been doing a really great job of putting the ball where these guys need it to be. And Brooks Jose, who's one of our backup punters, who's been our holder, a lot of those guys are kind of behind the scenes, but without them, the whole operation doesn't work. So it's just amazing on their attention to detail and their desire to constantly get better, versus not just the mental aspect of getting locked in mentally, but also the mental preparation of game planning and watching opponent film and things like that.
Sure. And then got to mention Tyrel Robinson. What a threat he is every time he catches a kickoff or a punt. And what a job he did to open up the second half for you, getting the ball all the way up to the 48, gave the offense a short field. They scored promptly and got yourselves back in the game. Tell us about Tyrel and what a player he's turned out to be this year.
Oh yeah, he handles our punt returns as well, and which is really good because we love to pressure the ball. So a lot of times, our punt returner back there is going to have to make something happen initially until our our protection unit gets back. And he's just, being able to field balls cleanly. He's got great vision. He's as quick as a hiccup out there. And it's great to have someone that is dynamic with the ball in his hand, because, he doesn't need a whole lot of space for him to go. And as you can see, his production just as a slot back on offense as well. None of these things are, by chance. It was neat at the beginning of camp when we were practicing. I talked to him about. I said, "Hey, you know what?" I said, a few years ago when I did this in 2016, we had a backup quarterback named Malik Magoo who was ended up doing the punt returns for us as a freshman. I said, "Hey, if you're the best one at doing it, you're going to be the guy that does it." And then, he proved to be the best one at doing it for sure.
Tell us about our, tackling on kickoffs is so important, and being down the field on punts to force a fair catch or make the play. Tell us about some of your key players on your special teams, who are able to make the plays when they see them.
Oh, okay. So just kind of across the board, as far as our cousins, we got young people like Kamante Yao, Wilson Cato. We got younger guys like Spencer Jones and Tyson Riley, who's started to come on our kickoff unit. We've had the last couple of games, AJ Howard, who's a slot back. A lot of guys think that these coverage units are going to be primarily defensive guys, which usually they are, but it's great to see our offensive kids being able to go down and make plays. We got, a couple of our slot backs that are gunners on punts being able to go down. They do a great job of releasing and, forcing some of those fair catches. We got Eric Smith and, kids like Cedric Cunningham and Markel Broughton on our punt team who provide that protection first before they get down into coverage. So it's really great to see. A lot of times, younger guys or backups, that's where they earn critical experience over there. Because, that's the one thing you can't coach. You can't coach experience. You get that by doing. And for them to be able to go in and contribute and, winning the battle of field position is so critical in whether or not, you end up winning or losing a game. And for us this year, we've been extremely fortunate with the kids playing at a really good level over there. And like I said, their attention to detail, both in practice, in the preparation for practice, and then being able to carry it over in the games. And again, our assistant coaches, who draw upon all of our assistant coaches to, coach different positions within the special teams, and great credit to them too, in taking our plan and being able to disseminate it. And, we're just kind of reaping the fruits of the labor that they provided.
And you've, in your tenure at West Point, you've worked with the fullbacks. You coached Larry Dixon, who was one we enjoyed covering so much in his career, and then you've worked with the tight ends like Quinn Parker and Zach Zom. Tell us about some of the players that you've coached over the years at West Point.
Oh yeah, so Larry, my first year, I coached for the first 2 years. Again, an outstanding young man. Was great that he got to have his first 1,000-yard, rushing season as a senior, and it was very productive for us. It was funny, I was able to coach Ray Maples for the Army-Navy game because he transitioned for that very last game to come and play B-back as well. My second year there, that's when all these young kids, we had like Darnell Woolfolk, and he came in as a freshman. We had a lot of those freshmen come in our second year and really contribute, on special teams and stuff. So you saw that, and it was great. So after that, I transitioned into, doing the special teams and, coaching tight ends. And it's just a blessing to be able to not only just coach young people in general, but especially the type of quality young people that we have here. And to be able to say that, we can do ours on our end in football to contribute to who they become as leaders, both, as eventual husbands, perhaps some days fathers. They're going to lead, American sons and daughters at least for 5 years in the United States Army. And to be able to say that you had a part of that is extremely rewarding over there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now you've got a really interesting background. You coached. You played football in Wisconsin, and then were back at the University of Hawaii. And then you coached football in Hawaii for a dozen years, and then somehow you made it to Statesboro, Georgia, with Coach Monken. Tell us about how that happened.
Well, I will try to make a very long story, probably a lot shorter. Well, so Coach Monken and I knew each other from the Hawaii days, and I always knew it was going to be a matter of when, not if, that he'd become a head coach. And so we stayed in touch, like practically at least every month throughout the 20 some odd years we knew each other. And, you know, God never put it on my heart to chase that college dream. I want, you know, after I graduated, I wanted to teach and coach in where I grew up and affect the community that way, and did it for a lot of years. And then you fast forward to, you know, I would go up actually I took my staff to go visit Coach when he was up with Coach Johnson at Navy for a spring up there. And then I went down and visited them at Georgia Tech for a spring one, you know, the first year they got there. And when Coach got his first job, at the head job at Georgia Southern, also came at a time where I was led to, for no other reason except being led to step down from my position as head coach at Waipahu High School, which was crazy because, you know, I could still be there. I'd love to coach there till I retired. And then all of a sudden something came up and there was a spot, an opportunity to go with Coach down in Statesboro, and, you know, ended up trading in the coconut trees for the pine trees down south. And it was supposed to be just for a 6-month sabbatical that I was going to take. And then, you know, here we are 10 years later with an amazing, amazing journey.
Absolutely. Now I got to ask you, tell us about your family, because you mentioned that one of your sons has been in the U.S. Military, just back from a long stint in Korea. Tell us about your family and your son in the military.
Okay, first of all, I'm married to a rock star named Sharon. She's my rib. I'm so blessed that I can call her my wife. We have 4 children. We got from oldest to youngest, we got Caitlin, we got Christina, Zachary, and Isaiah. We got 2 great son-in-laws in Levi and Andrew, Andrew was actually in the 25th ID back in Schofield Barracks in Hawaii. And 2 grandchildren. We got Maya and Zeke, and 4 dogs. So we got and we're spread all over the place. So our youngest, Isaiah, was supposed to be in Korea for a year, and then COVID kind of extended that, and he was supposed to go to Fort Lewis, transitioning, and that, because his delay, kind of extended off when. So long story short, he's back visiting one of his sisters in Texas right now, and he reports to Fort Rucker at the end of the month. So really proud of him, and, you know, continuing our strong family tradition of service to this country.
Absolutely. So good to hear, and glad he's back home safely. Final thought, what's the best thing about coaching at West Point for you? You know, we hear that you meet people from all over the military, the graduates and leaders of the military and the government who come through West Point. What's been the best moment for you so far?
I think the fact that you get to work with such a diverse group of people from across the entire United States. You know, at a traditional school, you'll draw more or less from a particular region. Or if you have some of these big, quote unquote, national schools, it's still, you don't have quite the reach as you have. And so that's one, working with that type of diversity. I think the second one is understanding what our young people are going to have to do in service to this nation of ours, and in each of their own unique ways as leaders, that they'll go out, affect a positive change, you know, to be the leaders and the men that we always pray that they will become, and have them have that opportunity, whether it be 5 years or until they retire in the United States Army, that they can go and lead people who will come again from a diverse, you know, set of regions over there. And if they affect the change that they will, those people will go back to their communities and affect that change that way. And next thing you know, you're going to have such great effect exponentially because of that. And so I guess to answer that, to be surrounded with people like that, who knows that they're in it for a reason that is more than just themselves, and to be surrounded with people, you know, that kind of same like-mindedness as yourself, that people who just want to serve those around them, and to be a part of the greatest place on earth that produces that, is very special.
Well, that's a great way to sum up the mission of West Point, and we hear that from different individuals all over the academy, and so well said. And just really Thank you for your time, a chance to meet you and hear about your extraordinary career. Coach Sean Saturnio, the special teams coordinator for the Army football team, a native of Hilo, Hawaii. And really great to see you, and happy Thanksgiving from everybody at the American Legion.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys there too.
Thank you very much. Good to see you. This is Ken Kreitzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio, covering Army football.